Christian Boussoye is the chair of one of the European Parliament's committees on energy. He joins me live now from Strasbourg, France. Christian, thank you so much for being with us. Just explain to us how much an oil embargo would damage Moscow's revenue stream, and therefore what would that mean, in your opinion, for the war?
It's clear that ban on oil and maybe gas would be a very strong hit on Moscow, on Russia. This is clear for all of us. On the other hand, of course, you know that unfortunately some of European countries are quite reliant. They need these imports, and while we took a clear and strong commitment to replace imports of fossil fuels, oil and gas, because coal is already forbidden to be imported from Russia, gradually starting as soon as possible and finishing as soon as possible. I'm not sure that now the unanimity for taking these decisions is still here. But there is a plan. European Commission came with REPowerEU, which was a communication endorsed strongly by European Parliament and by the member states. Now they will come with a plan, an action plan, especially to replace Russian gas. But of course, oil is also extremely important in this equation. And member states, all the member states are working jointly, putting in place even solidarity measures in order to get rid, to replace, to eliminate the imports from Russia as soon as possible, and diversify the suppliers, increase energy efficiency, increase the role of renewables, and become more energy independent.
Right. I mean, we've talked plenty of times about the importance of becoming much more independent from Russian energy. But an oil embargo, what sort of impact do you think? I mean, given that, you know, a lot of European countries, Hungary, Slovakia, those countries are so dependent on Russian energy, what sort of impact would an oil embargo have on various European economies?
We already experienced an increase of prices in energy, and there is an increase of prices in electricity, in gas, and of course an increase of price in fuels. This already puts a big burden after the COVID-19 pandemics, which of course raised some important economic issues. So it is very important that all the measures that we are taken will will hit Russia more than could hit our economies. So it is important to be very efficient, and this could be one of the efficient measures, and in the same time needs not to create a very much economic difficulty to some of the European countries. This is an important principle. On the other hand, of course, there are some European countries, unfortunately, which are not as committed as others to go until the end with the sanctions against Russia. That's why the discussions are still ongoing, but the commitment to support Ukraine, the commitment not to make any more business with Russia now, and of course to terminate in the medium term. Already the decision taken with SWIFT, the decision taken with coal imports, and everything that we are prepared for gas and oil, I think it's a strong signal that we go in the same direction with the United States, and we will make everything it's possible in order to support Ukraine and weaken Russia and weaken the war machinery of Moscow.
All right, Christian Boussoye, live for us there. Thank you so much. And that is